Travel hotline number is about. Thank you very much.
This proved to be a boon, has it not?
Oh, absolutely.
Good morning, infidel. It's Saddam Hussein from Baghdad near Devices in Iraq. I have to inform you that wife number 5 passed away on Tuesday following a somewhat regrettable incident with a bacon slicer. Therefore, I am keen to find a suitable replacement without delay. And I understand from the one they call Fatima that one of your junior assistants is likely to be seeking a new position. I refer, of course, to the one they variously call Gobbo, Snake Hips, and the Old Slapper. Who could that be?
I've no idea. It doesn't ring any bells here.
Please ask the wench if she might consider a life of unmitigated luxury in one of my presidential palaces. I should stress that this offer is not to be sneezed at. She would have her own pigeon loft, a medium-sized alpaca farm, and every other Monday off. Sounds like a good deal to me.
I tell you what, you could do a lot worse.
Find the person that he's referring to.
Yes, I just wonder.
They'll leap at that, I'm sure.
I'm sure they will.
Good morning to you. It's a Sorry, I must stop myself. Wednesday. I've no self-control. That's what's wrong. The 16th. From the Mount, Dinas Powys, South Glamorgan, the blackest valley in all Wales. I'm looking forward to Christmas Day because I know it is a full 12 months until another flaming one. From your number one flat-headed fan at Cardiff, that's Bruno Briscombe. Good morning, Bruno. And Bah Humbug. I've got a T-shirt that says Bah Humbug, which is terribly seasonal. I think it's the Northern Ballet or somebody doing Christmas carol. Bah Humbug. Let's have a real Christmas tree, my wife said, says Darrell Lane, the man with the rash in Nothorn. No, says I. So we got one. And we also got pine needles. Millions of them. They found their way into my underpants. Pointy little devils. How did they do that? Pine needles everywhere. The tree will be dead before Christmas Day. I swear. We put ours up a little early, I think. Just a little previous. A man walked into a cafe. It's the first joke of the bright new morning, Polly. Well, the dark new morning. And asked for a full breakfast. How do you want it? Well, the tomatoes are to be at the top of the plate, like eyes, a piece of bacon at the bottom, like a mouth, and a fried egg as a nose, with baked beans either side, just like sideboards. You're in the Salvation Army, aren't you, mate? How'd you know that? You're wearing the uniform.
Once again,
We are not alone.
to a baby's cry.
They're out there, millions of them. They're coming to get you. Deep space.
Make it so.
Through the wormhole. Here comes Fran Godfrey through the wormhole.
Klingon.
Here I am, clinging on to the wreckage.
Mo
Indeed.
writes from Wigan and says, could you tell me if your Fran Godfrey is the same girl who used to pinch my bottom when I came to mend the convent heating system in 1959? Or it wouldn't be 1959.
No, it wouldn't be
She was born
1959.
in
No, I was,
1927.
absolutely. I was well grown up by then.
She used to wait until I was bent over
Totally.
doing some soldering and then rush up and do the deed, knowing I was unable to move until the solder had set.
Oh,
Now, that's what I call taking unfair advantage of an artisan.
I've never taken unfair advantage of anybody.
What about that poor...
yes.
What about Roger?
And the electrician.
See?
You've got long memories, you two, haven't you, when it
yes.
comes to certain things?
Yes.
2 accidents in North...
Nothing wrong whatsoever in being Lithuanian. My father had the honor of being a Lithuanian Cockney, as was Lawrence Harvey. Sorry, Mary and Peter cousin. I shall watch that in future. And a sweatshirt. Would that keep you quiet? Would that stop the Lithuanians rising against us? And rapidly, too rapidly, approaching the age of 50, I've been having dreams. John Roberts of Shrewsbury. And felt that I had to visit the doctor for some kind of explanation. Well, Doc, I said, it's like this. I'm lying in bed, and great big alphabet letters keep tapping me on the shoulder, especially the A, E, I, O, and U. I'm very worried about it. Don't worry, said the doctor. It's only a mild case of irritable bowel syndrome. Is that, what about that joke? It's a good one, is it? All right, yeah. Because I didn't like the irritable bowel syndrome one. Anyway, John Roberts, you can only do your best. Steven Spielberg was discussing his new project. It's an action docudrama about famous composers, starring top movie stars. Sylvester Stallone, Steven Seagal, Bruce Willis, and Arnold Schwarzenegger were all present. Spielberg strongly desired the box office oomph of these superstars, so he's prepared to allow them to select whatever composers they'd portray, as long as they were very famous. Well, said Stallone, I've always admired Mozart. I'd love to play him. He sounded very like Tony Curtis there for a minute, didn't he? Yes. Chopin has always been my favorite, and my image would improve if people saw me playing the piano, said Willis. I'll play him. I've always been partial to Strauss and his waltzes, says Seagull. I'd like to play him. And Spielberg was very pleased with the choice. He said, that sounds splendid, boys. And looking at Schwarzenegger, he said, who do you want to be, Arnie? And Arnie says, I'll be Bach.
Someone's out fishing, someone's high and dry.
I'll be Bach.
To the lonely Lorelei. Some folks got a vision.
Ah, there.
BBC Radio 2.
Gold darn different every time. That's us, matey. Press that, Paulie. Nothing happened. I'll try again. Still nothing's happening.
What
Yeah.
are you pressing?
Yeah. I should that. Yeah, did it again. I'll try one more. Huh?
Oh, well, shall I reload it?
Paul. Machine number 2 down. Oh, I blame Saddam. No, 2 is what we want, Paulie.
Hold on a
2.
minute.
You don't get any better, do you? Now it's Friday.
Nothing
We've had
to
a
do
whole
with you.
week
Keep
of
your
this.
little nose out of it. We'll try it again. We're running it up the flagpole. Okay, now
right
look,
now.
just a minute. We're giving it one more go here.
Okay.
And if it fails this time, I'm going to make war on it. It's broken. Just take it out, put it in the next one. Oh, I tell you what, I'll ad lib. Oh, look, hang on.
Go now, go.
No, let's have a Christmas jingle.
It works. You've mended it. This will work.
Live radio.
This will work.
Don't you love it? We got the new equipment in. Week later, it's Brooke.
In the first half hour. Then if you hang on, there might be something else between now and 9. It's Thursday, the 7th of the 7th, 77, which for an awful lot of people has a great deal of significance. I'm not sure what it is, and I'm still not sure what the figure of speech for it is. It's litotes or onomatopoeia, I'm sure, or something. My name is Neil Westlake. Play something for me today. I have 7 reasons why 7 is my lucky number. After losing 6 babies, I was my mum's 7th child. I'm the 7th grandson on my dad's side. I'm the 7th grandson on my mum's side. I was a 7-month baby. Fun. I was 7 weeks early. I was born on the 7th year of marriage. I live at 7 Parkview, Kingswood in Bristol. This has got to be a day for you today, Neil Westlake. And you've just moved to 157 Grenfell Yate in Bristol, which is going to ruin things, isn't it, Neil? But still, this is the day for you. All sorts of marvelous things going to happen. I hope so. And a very, very happy 7th of the 7th, 77. Mary Hopkins. And wouldn't you know it, as I said, inundated today with cards for 7th birthdays on the 7th of the 7th and 70th and all that. And here's a card in the shape of a 7. The significance of 7 has always escaped me because I'm not really awfully interested in numerology, but obviously it's a very big day for people interested in numbers. For my twin cousins Hugh and Charles Campbell of Whitterley's Cottage, Knighton, Powys, on the 7th of July, they'll be 7 years old on the 7th day and the 7th month, and this is going to get tremendously boring before the day is out because you can bet your bottom dollar every single disc jockey will be using it as a topic of conversation. So I should put cotton wool in my ears. My engineer, Arnold, who doubles on his mornings off as a milkman, is telling me that he's reading the popular dailies. I don't do that myself, of course. You can't, and work for Radio 2, it being a classy kind of a network. That today, being the 7th of the boring 7th, even more boring 77, is a day, if you're psychic, that according to this paper anyway, you can plug right in to the cosmos. I wouldn't be standing in a bath while I was doing it, though.
I'm sorry, you haven't got our whole attention. Chips have arrived. Oh, it's National Chip Week, apparently. He said the Belgians, of course, claim to have invented the chip. God, no. The chip was invented by a man in Cork. Sean O'Chip was his name, and he did it. I'm just sorry. I know I should be addressing the microphone, but how can I make myself a chip butty if I'm expected to talk on the radio at the same time? That's what I'd like to know. Nobody can do that. About your impending trip to Canada next week. Ah, yes, we're off.
We are.
We're off to Canada in the green. And it says on the BBC website that because of the time difference, you'll be doing an after-dinner broadcast in front of a roaring fire surrounded by lumberjacks and mounties.
With a bit of luck.
It's always been my ambition, says Dawn on me soon, to be surrounded by mounties and lumberjacks in front of a roaring log fire. I could handle it all a lot better than you know. That remains to be seen. You can lose your heart to some of these mounties and lumberjacks, you know. So in the few days I've been away, Paulie has become a doctor.
Oh, yes.
Dr. Wally.
Yes, indeed.
Did he cram years of tuition into a day? No. Are you a real doctor?
Well, not really. I never really bothered.
He has to get that line out, yeah.
I do.
Please, can you tell me what he specialises in? What are his favourite bits? Could he help my young buxom neighbour because she has gigantic fits? But I suppose he's an expert in all things concerning young females who are... Listen, leave a chip for a fella, will you?
All right.
He can always prescribe doses of Wogan if conventional medicine should fail. Senile. Look, would you like a piece of music while I might get something to eat?
Dear Mr. Wogan, during the past few weeks, it has become increasingly obvious that you've been more than a little put out by the honour bestowed upon your colleague, that nice Mr. Young. Nonsense. Nonsense. I don't mind. To remedy this slight upon your good self, it's been proposed that a campaign should be started to seek the appropriate recognition for your services to the Destitute Bookies Fund. The object of the competition is to achieve the same honour as your fellow broadcaster, thus enabling you to be known as Terry Wogan, OBE. Overweight Babylon Aegis. From ABBA, the Association of Blankety-Blank Addicts.
I don't think I've ever seen anything so revolting as you slapping chips onto a piece of toast. And butter.
Yes. What do they make of it all over the world? Look, a true Aussie, not an expat pom. I have a very strange friend who somehow convinced me to follow your show, even though waking up to you is a little hard here in Australia when you're on at dinner time. I thought you had tea in Australia, didn't I?
Tea?
I thought it was tea.
Oh, it's lunch, isn't it?
Home and away, it's tea.
Is it? Well, what does he mean by dinner time? Does he mean lunch?
No, dinner.
It's dinner, supper.
Please, don't go too pom on them. I can hear them disappearing.
Now look, you've got indigestion.
Yes.
I can hear that. You've got indigestion now.
dear.
Look quiet. Barry Culling of Sydney. I'm an avid listener to you on the internet, and that is when the Australian Broadcasting Corporation has nothing of interest on, when Radio New Zealand is boring, when Radio 4 is not webcasting. I'll try Canada Radio next, but I'm an avidish listener to you, and I need your help. Oh, are you? We have a short way with colonials here.
Yes.
Oh, where was the help? What was the help?
I'm sorry, I'm
You're not
that
interested, are you?
documented.
No help at all.
They come and they go.
Oh, gone.
27 minutes past 8 now. Trumpets sound at 8:30. We stop our jobs. By the radio we wait in anticipation of Wogan's winner. But every day our hopes grow dimmer. So come on, Terry. Let's have no more blanks. One good winner and you'll get our tanks. That's Rodney Edwards, Colin Dent and Morris Hardy. All drunks as skunks. In Burton-on-Trent. And where better to be? They work in a brewery there. Just a moment. I will consult not with one, but two racing advisors. Did we win yesterday, chaps? Is that a word? No. Properly reticent about the result. 28 minutes past 8 on
Radio 2 goes racing.
Won in 1962, lads. Thank you. Thank you for the facts, welcoming me back in Sale and Cheshire. Eileen Morton, never watched you on television. I couldn't forgive you for leaving your faithful following, but all is now well. Just don't do it again. I'm sorry, Eileen. I have to. I have to do it on a Friday night, whether I like it or not. At 10 BBC One. Anyway, thanks for the welcome back of Mary Benny, whose my eye was caught by Mary Benny because she lives in Mock Beggar's house. Mock Beggar's house, Church Street in Rudgwick in West Sussex. That can't be very kind, going around mocking beggars. Now, living in a place that mocks beggars. I'm glad to have you back. I've been listening to Radio 1 since you left. Doesn't time fly? I used to love your expression, 8 o'clock and not a child in the house washed. And I could really identify with that. Now those children are 6 feet teenagers and mother's not washed because she can't get into the shower. Please. I used to love you saying you were going to lie down in a dark room and listen to Dolly Parton singing I Will Always Love You. Isn't it strange? It's in the charts now by Whitney Houston. I still prefer Dolly Parton. So do I, Mrs. Jerry Buschenfeld. We get them all here. What? Mock beggars and Buschenfelds? So do I. And I'll play that Dolly Parton thing. I much prefer it to Whitney Houston. Did you see Kevin Costner being interviewed by Barry Norman last night? Yeah, so did I. Good, eh? Hello, Ken. Ken's about to start. Is that you shouting, or is it Billy Joel?
Pieces. It's 9 minutes to 8 o'clock. Ah, baby hand pop of Koppel near Chorley. It says, my daddy, the Brigadier, listens to your show. Why put the inverted commas around the word show, baby? Every morning before he gets up. And this may please you, but on the clock radio, he always carefully presets for 7:40. It's situated directly above my cot, and I'm awakened every morning by your inane prattle. See, there you are. Only 4 months old and knows inane prattle when he hears it. And when I entered this world 4 months ago, I had no idea I didn't have to put up with anything as moronic as your early morning attempts at DJ. Imagine my delight as I heard Daddy say to Mummy, as they lay in bed the other morning doing their funny breathing and gasping, you're too young to notice. Get back to your bottle. That you ought to finish in a couple of weeks. Well, I was well chuffed, I can tell you, says Baby Hand Pop. I think that now things can only improve. After all, I must not despair. I've only given it 4 months so far. Come on, Ken Bruce, give it your worst. For me, it can only be an improvement. P.S. My daddy says you're not supposed to have any feelings. No, Daddy's right. Out of the mouths of babes and suckers.
But then we all looked different a long time ago, didn't we? So let's not be too hard. Now, I have the solution for your Scottish fairies problem on the travel leaders this morning. No, fairies. Fairies. There are no fairies in Scotland. At the bottom of our garden, certainly, but not in Scotland. And I was on holiday in the island of Mull. I heard the following posy, says Roger de Maidenhead, who's age 32, our youngest listener. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it, apart from the Western Isles, and they are Caledonian MacBrains. We thought, you see, Caledonian MacBrain was a revolting Scottish dish along the lines of the Swansea haggis. In fact, I meant to take it up with Ken Bruce, but then I don't talk to him. But the thing is that it's not Caledonian MacBrain. It's something else. I'm not sure what, but it isn't. And Margaret Rogers of North Harrow says, I'm not trying to welcome you back, as I never listened to you in the first place. Oh. Terrific. It's great to have all your cards welcoming me back. And if you fancy phoning up, though why you should would be beyond me, it's 03452222891. And if you fancy faxing an instant reaction to the many, many interesting and stimulating things you've heard on the program this morning, it's 071-436-5247. Yeah, that's the alarm clock, the Wake Up to Wogan alarm clock. We're trying to give them away. B. Feeks of Cradley Heath, Worley in West Midlands. Would you give me one of them? I have difficulty waking up in the morning. They won't wake you up before 7 o'clock, B. Feeks. It's a sort of trick. I personally don't understand the whole thing myself. But then most of life, as I grow older, appears to be beyond me. I used to know everything when I was in my 30s. I'll go to my grave knowing nothing. This is Julian Lennon. Sorry. Barry Como, Magic Moment, classic. Backrack and David. It's 24 minutes to 9, lads. Dawn has now cracked. Cracked over the great metropolis. Good to look down there and see the car park. It was once the car park, but it was Jimmy Young's car park. He used to park his divan there. Yes. What was that two-wheeled vehicle he used to come in? The Huff. Yeah. Anyway, it's, of course, as you know, it's been turned into the Burt Banqueting Hall now, and they're building it up. It's going to be wonderful. It can be gaily caparisoned members of the committee and senior executives. And, of course, it will be an entertainment place for senior executives, their wives and families exclusively, and lots of your money will be spent on it. And you won't be able to get in, but the executives will be having a terrific time. And Kathleen Saunders of Northampton said, I went to bed quivering with excitement at the thought of waking up at 7 with you again. Oh, Kathleen, I was quivering a little myself. As usual, I woke up at 4, had my tea, waiting, 6:45, looked at the clock, realised only 15 minutes to go. And then the next I knew, it was 8:15. Oh, I dozed off. Oh, I do have that effect on people, Kathleen. I know what you're after, though. And I suppose I'd better give you one. Yes, just to wake up to Wogan alarm clock, a very desirable prize. We're trying to get rid of them from a job lot from Del Boy. And I'll be sending you one of those quick and lively, don't you worry. I've got your number. And Janet Griffiths of Overdale, Ashton in Surrey. Sir, it was quite reprehensible of you to take so long a holiday when you did, let the country drift to the brink of ruin. How was I to know, Janet? That person who took over from you, Maggie Tyler, was it? Did all right for a while, but one tires of Wagner after a few weeks, and she was wildly overconfident. The country needs the firm hand of an older man at the tiller. That's me. Having said that, Attila the Hun. Well, who said that? Anyway, having said that, it's great to have you back. I'm retired now, so available for technical or artistic advice. I won't be able to send money to the WWF Wealth for Wogan Fund. Do you remember I used to send checks to your treasurer, that nice Mr. Jimmy Young? He was always pleased to get them. Our number 1 cat remembers you. He's been behind the sofa all day. He's a little sensitive. He'll be okay after a few days. Janet, that cat sounds drunk to me. What have you been putting in your cat's milk? I love this. From a very underrated show called Chess. Gilbert O'Sullivan. It's 4 minutes to 9 o'clock. We'll have news, as I said, on the hour. And about time, too. So many letters and thank you. The thoughts are there. Ellie, this is Ellie Batten. Ellie Bolton, yes, of Kidsgrove, Stoke-on-Trent. It's not me eyesight, it's the handwriting, I think. And about time, too. After more years than I care to remember, an air of gentle buffoonery has returned to ease me into the daily round. That, Ellie, is what I'm about. A word to the wise, though, tell, or Tez. A carelessly spoken phrase can cause more trouble than you'd imagine. I know, I've already offended somebody who uses a mobile commode. And I don't mean Jimmy Young. You'd recall the days when the nation fought the flab each morning. Please, it was in the afternoon we used to fight the flab, Ellie. You've forgotten completely. Don't know what you're talking about. There I sat 9 months, all but a minute, at the breakfast table. And what did you say? Remember, I'm responsible for the shape you're in. The old-fashioned look on the face of himself as he peered over the tea cosy and wholemeal toast is etched forever in my memory. How is himself anyway, Ellie? My eldest daughter's now 24. And the mum herself and her dad and I still share the same breakfast table. So no serious harm was done, but have a care, Tez. Have a care. I will, Ellie. A word to the wise, as you say yourself. You probably can't see me now, but I'm actually tapping the side of my nose in a wise manner. And knock 3 times and all that stuff. Almost 6 minutes past 9 o'clock. Ken Bruce. He's looking at me from the cover of a CD here. Somebody wrote in and said, what's a CD? It's not spelled S-E-E-D-I-E. That's Jimmy Young. Only it's a Y instead of an I-E. It's a CD is a thing that there's a plastic... look, okay, we play music from it. Anyway, Ken Bruce is on the cover of this. Personally, my view of him is a better one. You can see the back of his neck. On this day of the Epiphany, may I welcome you back to the living world. Michael Ridge, who takes himself a bit seriously. Of East Molesley in Surrey. I know people who live in East Molesley. I'm not telling you their names, though. You go around it and stone them. I was going to write on Monday, but I thought it might be a bit precipitate. I was concerned that you may not have the staying power to once again do a day job. Well, I've been manfully battling on, Michael. There were people who thought I wouldn't make it to Wednesday. Myself included. Anyway, I appreciate John Marsh's reading of the informative parts of the program. What does he do during the intervals? Michael. Now, he's a married man. I don't really feel entitled. Does he keep you supplied with cups of coffee, bacon butties, and a glass of Sanatogen? I don't go for that at all. I don't need that stuff. I find that The injections work a treat for me. I was interested to hear the coffee machine has been installed. Do you pay, or is it on free? It's your expense, Michael. The public pay for that. Yeah, that's the way we like it in the BBC, and that is the way we're going to keep it. Emmylou, I probably won't be in this job an awful long time, so probably won't make it to Friday now. Where?
Making each day of the
Here's another. Good morning. It states 6:20 Christmas Day. Do it, Baz. Goodness sake. Santa came early to my house this year, filling my heart with the best of good cheer. I arrived home from work feeling tired and tense, but what had arrived at the Beeb's expense? A Wogan sweatshirt so big and so warm, at the Toggy convention it will be worn. I'll not feel an outcast in waistcoat too long, but smart and bright in the togs I belong. It's it's Oima.
Oima.
Oima bit of all right.
Oh, that's good.
She's a Bakewell. Well, she lives in Bakewell anyway.
She is a Bakewell.
She's a Bakewell in her own right. And Jenny of the Gruppenführer of the Kirk. Between 12 and 1.
She will be there.
I have a little Christmassy song, if I may.
Oh, goody.
If I may trouble your eardrums.
Mm-hmm.
Deck the hall with boughs of holly. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Here come Terry, Fran, and Polly. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Trying hard to cheer our mornings. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. With music, jokes, and traffic warnings. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. There's more.
Deck the halls, 'cause here comes Terry.
Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Corpulent and very merry.
Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Telling jokes that aren't so funny. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Then he has the cheek to ask for money.
Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. That is a good verse.
Oh, 'cause here comes Polly. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Just like Telly's off his trolley.
Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Ladies think he's cute and naughty.
Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Till the rhubarb makes him spotty. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la. Deck the hall, 'cause here comes Franners. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la. Teaching Paul and Terry manners.
There's a forlorn hope.
Come on, it's falling apart.
Fran sounds so demure and dapper. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Till she's a real old slapper. Da-la-la-la-la-la-la. Oh.
Stands.
The 11th and stuff. Oh, so good to have you back, old chum. It's sad when you're away. There's no one to poke fun about. We miss you every day. It's good to hear your voice again. A voice as soft as butter. Could you speak up, young Paulie, dear? We can't tell talk from mutter.
Oh, that's nice.
It's not nice. It's only old wilting Baz, you know. Oh, hello, me old mucker, me old pal, me old fella, me lad. Anne Hogg of Whitley Bay. I read with interest in Monday's paper that you've been consigned to the dustbin of history that is Madame Tussauds' basement. This is old news, Anne. They did me twice. They've remainded me twice. But I'll be back. Don't worry, MacArthur. I shall return. I wonder what'll become of you. Maybe they could put a large wick on your bonce and send you floating off down the Thames, and then we could see what was missed on New Year's Eve. He was there, apparently, but just a little quick. I nearly fell off me bike, says Father Nearly, when I heard you mention the Holy Tomato of Allah and the miraculous rock of Scunthorpe. Yes, yesterday. Well, somebody had this rock that they bought in Scunthorpe, and blow me down, it had Blackpool written all the way down the middle of it, which, of course, is an omen. And this is because I recently discovered some otherworldly hidden inside a pumpkin. Oh, yes. One slice clearly displayed the name of the main character in Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, Pip. But the supernatural powers were not finished with me yet. As I gazed in awe at the vegetative calligraphy, I heard the same name ring out 6 times in succession from the radio, just when I happened to be tuned in to your morning program at 8 o'clock. Sinister or what? If I read the portents correctly, it is time I made the move to prayer consultancy. Father Nearly, many blessings on you. 3 Our Fathers and 3 Hail Marys for you, I'm afraid.
Her hair
Look, there's a worrying missive here from David Watson of Grapham. I have to say how pleased I am that you're back. Not that I have anything against that nice Mr. Lester, but as a father, you know, you have to protect your little girl. Now, one or two occasions when Mr. Lester was a bit risque.
Oh, no.
And I had to divert little Daisy's attention, for that is her name, as we drove out in the morning. But now you're back, I know all will be well.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you did cut half a bar off the end of the pre-pip music yesterday. Everyone's an
excuse
Half
me.
a
I'm sorry,
bar?
everyone knows
Yesterday-
everything about show business.
Perfection.
It was a good verse you lost, wasn't it?
You know, Mr. Wogan, and this is where the story really starts.
Uh-huh.
To me, I do believe that Daisy is going to grow up to be as fine and upstanding and ladylike as Dame Frances.
Oh.
Just as soon as Daisy comes back from her welding course at Hartlepool. By the way, a welding course might be the making of Dame Frances, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. I'll go for that. Yeah, welding. All those goggles and things. And men.
A real welder.
Sorry. I couldn't resist it. Oh, dear.
He can't stop
The
himself.
old
You know.
ones are the best.
That's why he got sacked as captain of Mid Hearts.
Oh, yes. Didn't like me.
Rough talk. Rough talk in the,
In the bunkers.
the plunge pool.
They say they doubt you really never let me sit.
So great, isn't it? Look what we have for Christmas.
yes.
Chocolate underpants. Hey, no, look after number one, won't you?
You're broadcasting. Come on.
I'm happy. I know I am. I'm sure I'm happy. Yes, of course you are. She'll have a fit. I've received the hollowed sweatshirt. The only one in Donegal. Oh, it's better than same as you'd need one in Donegal in this weather. What's even funnier, it was made 30 miles up the road. Up in Crawley somewhere. While in London, it's now come back to me. Anyway, I shall wear it with pride. So you shall. I'd like to see that being worn in Donegal. And felicitations to the posse by Alfred Claude Tennyson. The festive season's here again, a chance for us to say a big thank you to the morning crew who brightened up our day. Hurrah.
Hurrah.
The women lust for Deadly with his voice so rich and smooth. I think I saw his photo once in our local telephone booth. Boggy Marsh loves DIY with shed and new lean-to. He's just received the freedom of his local B&Q. Spare a thought for Paulie as he struggles on in vain just to see his high production values going down the drain. He doesn't mind as long as he gets a chance to stuff himself with chocolate-covered sultanas. And what else are you getting? Oh, thanks.
Have a Y front.
Oh, a white front's made of white chocolate. Not bad. Daniel O'Donnell. Another Irish phenomenon. Mrs. Merton loves him. And so does her mother. But everybody's mother loves Daniel O'Donnell. And millions of other people, too. A Christmas kiss. And very, very seasonal, Paulie. While Paulie watched TV one night. This is to While Shepherds Watch Them Long. I don't know, it's a Protestant hymn. While Paulie watched TV one night, sat in his favourite chair, an angel of the Lord came down to see what went on there. Fear not, said he.
Not said he.
On TV was Terry's pointless views. Just look at that, he's awfully fat. The angel said, bemused. To tell them our Paulie leapt. That's very true, you see. Our Terry is the reason why we need widescreen TV. That's not funny.
I liked it.
You haven't got a note in your head, you know.
Excuse
You
me. This time I know
keep
the
putting
tune.
me off.
I know the
You
tune.
put me off that. I know that backwards. Ned Sheeran taught me. The pocket.
Yes, exactly.
Will you?
I've been in there for years.
Ivan Inkling says, well, you... anything can believe it. Would you please tell that Boggy I was quite happy to make a huge bid for a ticket to the Lean-To Bash until his tasteless remark in that last road report. He knows the one I mean.
About chickens?
First he tells us about a lorry shedding a load of live chickens, and then he goes on to tell us about problems on the clockwise section of another road. Will you get him seen to?
Yeah.
Talk about sneaking one in.
If only I'd thought of it.
Good to hear from you, Les. If we join the single currency, said David Hall of Bromley, who appears to have lost the plot, what is 100th of a euro to be called? I haven't thought about it at all. Well, for instance, may I suggest 1 urine, 2 urinals, and so on? We can still call them a P. Hey, the children in need, Martine McCutcheon. And the children's choir. What they were, S Club 7. I think they've got a television show or something.
Yeah.
They're always in Florida or something like that. I don't know. A lot of bare midriffs, anyway,
yes.
which older chaps like myself and Paulie, we find just slightly off-putting. They will get a chill. Wear a vest, my dear. 10 reasons why Wake Up to Wogan is better than sex.
11.
It's guaranteed to satisfy. It's available every day before work. You're guaranteed new experiences daily, which you can share with all your office colleagues. It doesn't ask for a performance rating at the end. It doesn't ask for comparisons. Hot buttered toast can be eaten while enjoying Wake Up to Wogan.
Yes,
Well, that's certainly... And during the boring bits, you can put the kettle on.
Oh.
What boring bits? Falling asleep during Wake Up to Wogan can just about be forgiven. Momentary lapses of concentration are not dealt with by a sharp dig to the ribs. And number 10, it can be enjoyed in a Range Rover on the motorway without fear of unwanted police attention. Well, that is tremendous, isn't it? You must be a tog then, eh? Steve. Oh, it's a different world there, Paulie.
I know.
And look, here's something, Steve. Oh, good morning. I'm just a little fairy atop the Christmas tree with tinseled hair and golden wings. I fill the kids with glee. But I'm not a happy fairy, no wishes can I grant. I've lost all stiffness from my wand, so it's dangling on a slant.
Oh, no.
And while I'm stuck high up here, upon this Christmas tide, Santa's elves beyond control are getting it on the side.
No.
It is not terribly Christmassy, this is a bit earthy. Well, no, I'm not a happy fairy. Of tears I've shed a few. If you knew where they've stuck the tree, your eyes would water too.
Hey.
But Merry Christmas, one and all, from a fairy meek and humble. Because everyone else is having fun, so chin up.
Nothing
grumble.
grumble.
Crooked old man of Bangor Town. I try over here, and well, I hope she's listening. Here is my own family Yorkshire version of the 12 Days of Christmas, says Detention. 12 children fighting... No, that's not Yorkshire, is it? 11 dogs are barking, 10 old films showing, 9 dads are drinking, 8 aunties dancing, 9 brothers belching, 6 granddads sleeping, 5 broken gifts, 4 groaning grands, 3 pairs of socks, 2 moaning mums, and a great pile of washing up. I don't know why that's not working. Right. Detention, that was. Good. So our terrier's gathering speed, and the auction is taking the lead. Just send in your dosh, be you common or posh, and he'll give it to children in need. And look, it is something nice, isn't it? Ian Denton.
Tender nights, did they mean nothing to you? And where are they?
We'll be going all country on Christmas morning here between 10 and... between midday. Is it 10 and midday? Yeah, 10 and midday. I'll be here with some interviews you won't have heard before with some of the biggest stars. 12 to 1, that's when we're doing it. All he knows. I had to get a bit discombobulated this time, and he has another birthday. He might ask a couple of friends if he ever wants any more music played. How devastating. No pips today. Well, there were pips of a sort at 8 o'clock and trampled underfoot by the Pamputis of Sarah Kennedy. We were all caught off guard yesterday when you announced you delivered your last pips of the millennium. And pinpoint sharp they were, too. Duncan disorderly, I'm sorry. No pips unless we can persuade Madame La Pipe, Edith Cresson, à Paris, to help us, because she's in charge of the pips. pips. In fact, she gave us the award for perfectly polished pips and then tried to take it back because of the unpleasantness over le boeuf, the roast beef. And I'm sorry, Duncan Disorderly, I know it's going to throw everybody in De Morgan Communications into confusion, but pips we ain't. And Mark Crotty, nullig sonagwit. Sorry, no sheet the fodder on this computer. You see, technology can only go so far. And there I was last week in Dublin, he says, entering the GPO. You're only, 60 years late. When I had a flash from the past. There was this young broadcaster heading for the Tower Inn in Henry Street. Get the last your cheeky, Charlie. And he was accompanied by a so-called comedian called Brendan Balfe. I never saw him come out again. No, we never did. This is not me. There's somebody else here. I'm still in the Tower Bar with Brendan. A bit of me heart is there. Here's Dolly Parton.
Tonight.
You can't beat it. You can't beat a bit of sophistication. Always at Christmas time, the loonies come out from under their stones and produce the odd record. The other year, it was the floral dance sung by some idiot. And now this is Fiddler's Dram, which means the violinist is drunk again, or give the Yehudi in the bed more water. Day trip to Bangor. Didn't we have a lovely time? A recent release on the Dingles label. I bet that'll be a hit. Fiona Graham, writing from Raven's Throther. Sounds like an old Scots curse. Probably is. In Lanark, in the mornings during your program, I've started, so I'll continue, is the time when I change my 15-month-old baby's nappy. During the music, he lies so peacefully. As soon as he hears your voice, he gets so excited. This is revolting. Joe. People don't want to hear about nappies at this hour of the morning. Try to eat their breakfast.
Well, I recall an old aunt. I see Manchester United having trouble with Beckham, says Ivan Inkling. Only yesterday, old Sir Alex was furious when your man failed to arrive at a training session, so he rang Posh Mansion. He said, David, you're late for training. Is there a good reason, son?
Oh, boss, Victoria's gone over with Brooklyn, and she's left me a jigsaw puzzle. I can't get going with it.
Hang on, son, I'll be right over. So he pops over to the mansion house, rings the bell, and Beckham is sat at the kitchen table with his head in his hand.
See, boss, it's supposed to be a chicken, but I can't get it started.
Davy, put the cornflakes back in the box, son.
Any of you watching television over the weekend, where you happen to sneak a look at Dallas? Frankly, I am worried. I'm worried about a number of things. First thing I'm worried about is J.R. Ewing. I'm beginning to like him. It's not that I'm beginning to like him because his behavior's any better. I just feel that compared to Cliff Barnes, he is the Archangel Gabriel. And another thing, do you notice anything different about Digger Barnes? Well, he's only my imagination, but I think he's grown a beard since we saw him last in the last series. And furthermore, I think he's had major plastic surgery because he looks nothing like he used to. Hello, we're seasonal again. Look out for the sage and onion.
And only time for one more, chums. An Irishman walks into a fish and chip shop. Sound of music, please. Sorry, sir, it's a fish and chip shop. Video rentals around the corner. What about Monty Python and the Holy Grail? I just told it's a fish and chip shop. If you want to rent a video... Oh, sorry, he's got an Irish accent as well now. If you want to rent a video, go to Video Rentals. What about the Life of Brian? I keep telling you, it's a fish and chip shop. I'll give you cod and chips, plaice and chips, any type of fish and chips. Oh, I'm sorry. Understand now. I have a bag of chips and a fish called Wanda. Thank you. Yvonne Moore from Bude, Cornwall. Oh, Cornwall, lovely. Keep it lovely. Very wet, Cornwall.
And they said they never come back. And yea, it came to pass that 6 years went by. And the DG, tossing and turning in his bed, turned to his secretary and said, "Here, Gladys, whatever happened to that Jerry Logan?" And here you find me, keeping the old commode warm. It's a living, and I'm out of the rain. Right, lads, here we are. Nothing's changed. 6 years, roll by, and here we are again, where we left it. Just looking a little more worn. It's the equipment I'm talking about, not necessarily old JY. Thanks to Katie Boyle, did my old ears deceive me, or is she being interfered with by Paulie Walters, as I was for years? No woman should have to put up with that. That's dashed hard to do, you know, rattling a pencil against your teeth. Wait to hear what I do with the comb. Oh!
East is east and west is...
The best of the capital years. Puttings and bows. It's very chintzy around here as well, you know, because this particular studio is done up in the exact fashion that Jim's own lounge in Pinner is done. You've got a bit of rag rolling on the wall and some chintzy curtains and the uncut moquette settee. Very nice. Just, I don't think I'm going to be able to get used to them ducks. Could you play a record for my wife, Margaret Kyle? You never played out half for Ireland in the 50s, did you? No. As she'll be celebrating her birthday today. It's a double celebration. It's also our 21st wedding anniversary. Wishing Margaret a very happy birthday. This is from Jimbo, another Jimbo, the bakery, Lower Waterloo Road, Larne, County Antrim. She could well have played, or maybe Jim did. Sending her much love from the aforementioned Jim and our three daughters, Michelle, Victoria, and Jamie. Say I'm looking forward to the next 21 years. You're a game little battler, Jim. Oh, my word. We're taking no prisoners this morning. Only 15 minutes past 11 and we're taking off our clothes. I've only just got into mine. It's no use, lad. You tried that before, bricking up the DG. It can't be done. I got a call from Frank Lee. He said, I think you ought to check on the roof to see if there's been any changes over the last 6 years. You can't see your hand in front of your face here. The filth of the windows. I can see the car park, and I shall keep you abreast of the appalling happenings there. Listen, is there a dentist in the house? What we will be doing later on, he shouted over the interference, is we'll be talking about the Chris's in the Tory party, and to the former chairman of the Conservatives, Geoffrey Archer, who even as we speak is playing with his little duck in the bath, and we're dragging him screaming and somewhat wrinkled from his bath. Well, he's been in there too long anyway. Listen, I can't go on with this. Can I go home now? Fixes! Remember that? Anyway, as I look out on this car park, the rain drumming down, the DG's Hispano Suiza with a running board and jump seat. What goes on in there is nobody's business. And, of course, there's the Duke of Mantua, who's our chairman, the Duke of Mantua's landau. He's got somebody with a post horn standing at the back, you know, and a fellow riding shotgun. He's never really got over a nasty shock he had at the hands of the Apache in Death Valley. Mrs. Julia Bell of Lytham St. Anne's. He said, I just want to say how nice it is to have you back, even if it is for just a short time. I had not realized how much I miss your happy banter. Julia, you're cracking up. Elvis, what a lot of living to do. Oh, it's great to be sitting in this old seat. Well, it's not the seat I used to sit in, but it's a seat that was graced by the likes of Ray Moore. And, of course, old Jimbo, old Grimbo Jimbo, looking out here. You'd think they'd give those windows are dirtier. They haven't seen a lick of a cloth for 6 years. You can hardly see through them. Mind you, there's not an awful lot to see through this. As I said, the BBC car park. And if I look straight ahead, I can see right into the chairman's office window. Should he be doing that?
Very seasonal, though. Oh, come, all ye togies, wrinkly and forgetful. Oh, come ye to Radio 2.
Wake up to Wogan every weekday morning. Oh, Terry is our leader. Oh, Terry is our leader. Oh, Terry is our leader. With Polly in tow. Oh, come, all ye toggies, on your way to work. Oh, come ye to Radio 2. Fran provides info, cues, delays, and hairstyle tips. Oh, Franny is our favorite. Oh, Franny is our favorite. Oh, Franny is our favorite. Traffic babe. A traffic babe.
Traffic babe.
Wow.
That'll be you.
God, dear.
I'm drained after
Oh, that was seasonal.
And I've got work to do now.
work. Throwaway comment as the last record. What is a billabong? Well, I knew what a billabong was. I don't need your 1973 pocket Oxford dictionary with a supplement of Australian and New Zealand words, Aidan. Aidan? No, Aidan Gill, you're not... No, you wouldn't be. No. Hence, billabong is a branch or effluent of a river. Everybody knows that. And I know what a larrikin is as well. So, you can tell me nothing. I'm having a bit of trouble with the moles in the back garden at the moment. You make Cheriton. Well, that's fascinating. And I was advised that a sure way to get rid of them was to mark the territory as my own, in the same way that most animals do, if you get my meaning. Of course, Mick, perfectly. So I'd like to apologize to my neighbour, who had a little bit of a rude awakening when she drew back her curtains this morning and gazed out of the window, expecting to greet the sunshine. I think I'm in love with Fran Godfrey, although she's more posher than me. Double comparative there. Her speech so precise and her bowels so nice, I doubt that she'd fancy me. But tell her I got a rover and a flat overlooking the sea, and a view of the ferries at Dover, and a passion for Earl Grey tea.
Oh, no, I'm not keen on the Earl Grey tea.
You're so picky. Can you afford to be that picky?
Yes. OHOC there, you see.
OHOC.
OHOC.
OH own hot water.
House own car.
Oh, right, okay.
Keep up.
And VOD.
Pardon?
View of Dover.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
The White Cliffs. And probably a record of Vera Lynn. No.
No. You didn't have to do that.
No, you didn't. There are people trying to listen, My Top Gear Totty by William McGonagall.
Oh,
yes.
He's back.
To try and woo a woman is rather hard, I fear. So get some tips on pulling birds. I've had to watch Top Gear. Oh, Franny, it's you I want to woo. And when you see me in my car, you'll want to woo me too.
Telling it to Jimmy Knapp.
He's the same age as...
Cliff Richards, yes.
Carry on.
Yeah, carry on. Just gone. I was enjoying that
just
poem.
Getting good.
My Reliant Robin's been resprayed, and my tyres have been inflated. I've had my bagpipes turbocharged, and my sporran chromium plated. I put an airbag in my kilt. I can't go on.
You can't go on.
It was showing promise, though. It really was.
It started well.
In Stockton-on-Tees, an accident southbound on the A19 near Billingham just before the A689...
You, of course, are just travel minion.
Organ boy. Minion.
In the new year, Boggy said, no more jokes about me shed. Listen to me, pay attention. I've got more than one dimension. Oh, how I wish the people would see beyond those planks of wood to the soul that lies behind.
Well, he's good.
Gentle, noble, smart, and kind.
Ooh.
This has been prepared by my maiden aunt, Ms. Oliver Beer, under the working title, Poem for Boggy.
I think that's charming.
It's been renamed in the family. Great Auntie Olive has been at the lighter fuel again.
I want that phrase.
Charm. Who wrote, of course, Oh Glorious Bridge over the River Tay.
Swakely's roundabout. In Sussex, the A24 is closed for a short while between Kingsfold and Bear Green, between Horsham and Dorking for recovery of a vehicle involved in an accident. And on the trains, industrial action continues to affect Connex South Central trains. A reduced service is in operation, which means numerous cancellations and alterations. And John Marshall can give you plenty of details about those, I can tell you. 020-7765-5488. Oh, boy, comes in tearing his hair, on those trains. Did you finish the toast now, Terry?
Nearly.
I've got a Millennium Prayer here.
All right, yes.
By W. McGonagall, who wrote, of course, Oh Glorious Bridge over the River Tay. Oh, Franny, 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 I want to be your Manny. Dressed up in my millennium kilt, the sight of me will make you wilt. I've even trimmed my beard for you and stuffed a pillow with residue. My bagpipes have been newly tuned, and don't they make a lovely sound? I'll feel secure in certain knowledge that you'll be up to stir my porridge. So, how about it, Franny dear? You know me well enough. I'm a tough and craggy Highlander, not an English powder puff.
Oh, there's an offer, you see.
Oh, I don't know, though.
What? Hesitating, come
Well,
on.
no, I just have to give this a bit of consideration. I can't be seen to be too keen.
Here's one that you'll love. Pet Shop Boys. You only tell me you love me when you're drunk. I love this.
Many a true word.
And one of the stars of BBC TV's new fantasy epic.
It's an heir, ladyship. An heir to the glory of Gormenghast.
Joining me are Michael Aspel, racy pair Sheila and James Tiller, and tonight's star of Gormenghast, John Sessions.
It's a boy! Johnny Walker, BBC.
Monday to Friday,
Radio 2.
5 till 7.
Good man, Jono. Gormenghast. Sounds like a masterpiece of underplaying. I'm pleased to see the BBC has finally grasped the nettle and is about to tackle the issue of flatulence. I'm sure both Paulie as perpetrator and you as the innocent victim look forward as much as I do to the upcoming programme Gordon's Ghast. I have lived with this affliction for a number of years, often feeling like an outcast. It was Paulie's public coming out that finally helped me live my life by my father's adage of, where'er you be, let your wind go free.
Honestly.
Thank you, Paulie.
You make one mistake. It was an accident.
My father didn't say that at all. My father used to say, there must be great gas in there. They're coming out cheering.
Better an empty house than a bad tenant.
Everybody's granny's got one.
Sweet dream, baby.
There's a rabble rouser for you, your old Beethoven, what? Oh, I wish I had a penny for every song that was based on the last movement of Symphony No. 9 by Beethoven. That was the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra and Andy Williams. I don't know whether he's come down from the chandelier yet or not. Oh, and Mrs. Mary O'Hara, did you ever play the harp, Mary, in Dumbartonshire? This is part of the conversation I overheard recently in a tea room. The First Lady, I think he makes them up himself. Second Lady, do you think so? Why? Because I've written to him 4 times and he's never read out any of my letters. Oh, they've got to be really stupid to get read out. They were stupid. One was about my little Ben wrote about his granny's piles and his school notebook. Anyway, I made up my mind. I'm not going to write again. Second Lady, after a pause. My John thinks he's really silly. Typical Irishman. First Lady, he's not always been silly. I read somewhere he used to work in a bank. Mind you, probably was an Irish bank. And who was that conversation about, tell me, Mary? 7 minutes to 8 o'clock exactly. I mean, why? It's another one from Devon. They're all mad in Devon. Fred Carno and the Army writing. Dear Sahib, I mean, why? So, it's rather like ashen-faced Ron Nee. So, they're going to spend 250 million on the Airbus. That's right. I think it's a waste of money. Oh, they'd be better building a proper aeroplane. I mean, by the time they've bolted on the wings, nobody will be able to sit upstairs, and they won't half land with a bump. Oh, Fred. What about the people who jump off before the stop? Rope. He says, a man is flying in a hot air balloon and realizes he's lost. It's the Richard Branson story. And he reduces height and spots a man down below, and he lowers the balloon further and says, excuse me, can you tell me where I am? And the man below says, yes, you're in a hot air balloon, hovering 30 feet above the field. You must work in information technology, said the balloonist. I do. How did you know? Well, everything you've told me is technically correct, but it's no use to anyone.
And the man said,
You must work in business.
I do, said the balloonist. How did you know?
Well, you don't know where you are or where you're going, but you expect me to be able to help. You're in the same position you were before we met, but now it's my fault.
Oh, Pat Boone, who used to be clean-cut and wear a lot of pullovers. Yes, he's sort of Jimmy Young of his day. Pat Boone and April Love. Dear Tell, from Crouch End. Quick, with reference to the listener whose petticoats were being eaten by moths. This is Andy Millard here. May I suggest that she hangs a tin tack in her wardrobe? Years of experience have shown that a tack is the best for moth defense. Bring in the invaders from outer space, please. I want to be taken away from all this. I'll go as soon as they like.
When it comes to the highlights of my year, says Len Horridge, rhymes with porridge, I don't think you can beat that lunchtime I sat down in front of the television to watch Wogan's Web. There you are. Had one of the most intellectually stimulating hours I've had for some time. And then the wife pointed out I was watching the washing machine. Can't win 'em all, as the Dalek said, climbing off the dustbin. I voted for you as BBC Sports Personality of the Year in the heavyweight category. The story will enable your presenter to enhance his foreign accent skills, to reduce the number of high thefts from Russian factories. There's very strict surveillance, especially if people are going through the gates at the end of the day. And one day a worker's leaving the factory pushing a wheelbarrow with an enormous sack in it. And the guard stops him and says, Leonardsky, what is in that sack? Sawdust. My foreman says I can take home whenever I want. Oh, yeski, says the guard. Let's have a butcher's, comrade. So the worker empties the sack. Full of sawdust, nothing else. Next day, same thing. Again, only sawdust in the sack. From then on, for months, the same ritual takes place. Lots of bags of sawdust until one evening, the guard stops the worker again and says, Look, comrade, I'm retiring tomorrow, so I'll be gone after that. You can tell me the truth. I'm desperate to know, what have you been nicking all these months? He says, Wheelbarrows. Wheelbarrows.
Oh, wheelbarrow.
I like a man who can take a cue. And you wonder why television has not opened its doors.
I know. I don't never pick
You've
up
got to
my
be able
cue.
to take a cue.
Never
Listen,
pick up.
We're
Wandering on. Lovely song. I was never a big fan of the Walker Brothers. They all seemed it was a little posy to me at the time, but then I was old even then and irascible. That's a good song. Lovely voice, too, Scott Walker. Almost 15 minutes past 7 o'clock. I was having my quarterly bath this morning. Steady, Frankie. Frankie of McClure, near Blairgowrie in Perth. The snow by now well over our head. Anyway, Frankie, the quarterly bath steady. You upset the flow of your natural oils. That's what's known as the Bob Geldof principle. I noticed amongst the debris a spider practicing his or her. My eyesight's going. It's hard to tell with spiders, isn't it? It's hard to tell with ducks. Synchronized drowning. The old synchronized swimming is coming, I'm telling you, growing apace, without a nose clip. Oh, we've had the ducks and now the spiders. I don't want a spider nose clip to go with my chickens' miner's lamps. Oh, you were the one last week who wanted the miner's lamps for the chickens because you couldn't find them in the dark. Yeah. The thing is, I pulled the said spider out of the bath onto a towel, tied to the towel rail to stop it escaping. On checking it later, I discovered it was spinning a web on the floor. Now, even in my house, the flies fly, and they don't walk. Therefore, this spider will starve, as the night the day, Frankie. And the odd behavior is obviously due to water in its ears. So can I have spider-sized earplugs, please? Hey, thanks. Look, we are but here to serve. Do you think if I tie a piece of cotton around the middle of the spider and swung around my head, the water will, due to centrifugal thing, come shooting out? Probably, Frankie, probably. But you could have a very irritated spider in your hands. And that is the thing not to be recommended, particularly at this hour of the morning. It's 16 minutes past 7 now, and the world has gone mad. When music confections go down well.
Hi, my name's Marlowe. I'm a private investigator. I just wrapped up the case of the missing falcon when one night a classy-looking broad with lips like slices of tomato knocked at my door. It turned out she was on the run from a guy with scrambled eggs for brains and needed a place to hide. What do you do all night with a girl like that? Fortuitously, I just bought the latest copy of the Radio Times and offered it her to read. She said she'd read it and tossed it back. Then it hit me. Then something else hit me, like a slug from a 45. What a dumbbell I'd been. Of course, the radio. I told her about my favorite program, Night Owls, an hour-long program full of music you don't hear during the day. She couldn't believe her luck, and neither could I. We got tuned in and turned on. As for the guy with scrambled egg for brains, he got fried last week. Don't forget, Night Owls tonight and every Tuesday night on Radio 2 at 9 o'clock. Check it out.
I hope the program lives up to the trail. You really need to tell me to tell you what this is.
Strangers in the night,
Wish I could speak.
exchanging glances, wandering in the night. What were the chances we'd be sharing love before the night was through?
Yesterday, but no real damage done. We haven't really got back to the bad old days when the corridors used to be covered in blood and people were thrown from the parapet to ease the block and promotion. Old Bert has been kind. And Maureen Rowe of Great Heavens in Plymouth. Took me 3 days to get around to it. Oh, well, Maureen, takes me longer than that these days because I got out of the habit years ago. Oh, please. But now I feel so much better. Maureen, so do I. Well, I feel improved from yesterday anyway, but you weren't worried about me, were you? When you were on the radio long ago, I had one little girl. Since your departure, I've had 3 more. There's no use looking at me, Owen Howells, of Shakespeare Gardens, Rugby and Warwickshire. This is your own uncontrollable urge that brings that class of thing on, and I refuse to take the rap. It's 26 minutes past 7 anyway. And there you are, you see. Oh, thank heaven.
Your references to Big Alma are causing me vexation, for I am getting teased a lot, much to my consternation. You see, my name is Alma, and I can't help being big. You have to be if your name is Alma. I keep myself in harness. I try not to jig. I wear big floppy blouses with lots of room to spare to camouflage my figure and hide what's under there. You sound like Robert Mitchum. It wouldn't be so bad if you kept quiet for a while, but every time you mention her, my colleagues start to smile, they titter, and they smirk a lot. So listen to my plea, dear Terry, I'm begging you. Stop talking about me. Listen, Big Alma. It's your own fault for being married to old Wayface there behind me. Or are you not the same? Oh, this is Alma Doreen Douglas. Have you got another one stashed away? He's got Almas all over the country, And this Alma is... She plays in the back row for Clonethley. Clonethley, I used to be able to play Clonethley, but then my teeth fell out. And I love this. But you know me.
She doesn't listen, she talks.
What are you doing at the moment?
I'm playing Eddie Cochran in 3 Steps to Heaven, and I'm just going to join Radio 2 listeners who may be surprised to know that I'm talking to Selena Scott in the Breakfast television studios in Lime Grove. I've always wanted to be with Selena Scott, wherever she is, even in the morning.
Well, here I am, and you're not with us, really. You should be on the settee here, talking to us here.
I'm here in spirit. What are you wearing?
Can you see?
Of course I can see what you're wearing. Yes. Is it an eiderdown or something? I've got a duvet. Oh, my word.
It's a big jumper, Terry.
It's your mother's tent. Yes.
I brought myself round with this.
I got sent some underwear this morning because we've got currently a thing going here about how do left-handed men use Y-fronts.
Oh, yeah.
Because, Y-fronts are not designed for the left-handed man.
I didn't know that.
Oh, that's true. You have to be either ambidextrous or right-handed if you want to use a Y-front with safety. And somebody said, well, why not turn the thing inside out, you see? If you wear them inside out, then that'll be all right for the left-handed man. But somebody else said, well, I use long johns, and if I turn them inside out, the trapdoor's around the back. And it hurts like hell when I sit down. So somebody else has sent me A-fronts. So that'll be a marked improvement. Just a little nosegay from the programme, Selena.
Well, we've got a little nosegay for you. It's called a humbug. We've got a big jar of humbugs specially for you, made in York. Is that right, Gloria?
That's right. They've disappeared, actually. But they were made, Terry, for you up in York.
We're hoping to
they thought they might silence you for a little while, but we want you really to be full and sparkling today and chatting a lot today.
I know you, Honeyford. You've got them stuffed down the legs of your drawers to take home to the children.
How do you know?
I know what you're getting.
Reminder, there will be no trains tomorrow. Christmas Day. I think they think I'm stupid in the motor unit. And only a restricted service on Wednesday, which is Boxing Day. However, services should be back to near normal. It's a dangerous phrase to use when thinking of British Rail. On Thursday. And things will be near normal here on the BBC. As I said, I arrived this morning in my usual place at 7, knocked on the door and couldn't get in. Eventually, I roused the sleeping centurion, and he let me in. And I said civilly, aren't you going to open the BBC for Christmas week? And he said, no. He said, not until Thursday.
You have to jump in the air when you do that. Left in the air. You're kicking the right foot forward, falling senseless to the ground. That's Mulligan's tires there, and the Mulligan tire. Oh. The girls at Gemini box without kind. Roses. Just for me. I shall wear them next to my bosom throughout the rest of the program, and some of them in me teeth. Girls. I've just come across a marvellous letter which was appertaining to Conrad Veidt's rendering of the lighthouse across the bay, which we heard, and Gladys of Accrington wrote in a marvellous version, an alternative version, which is Ich kann nicht vergessen das nicht vom Dinken sitzen allein nach der Stinken und Schmellen, der Essen der Dunkeln Crunchen und Bier, Donner und Blitzen der Arome in mein Ear. And this translated is, I cannot forget last evening with you, when we sat on the balcony next to the loo, that memorable meal, pickled onions and beer, with the scent of your sweet breath as you nibbled my ear. The last ride on our tandem in spite of the rain. I remember, your knickers got caught in the chain. Oh. My fun. And now we are come to the winter of our discontent. Fold my tent like an Arab. Silently steal away. Not silently enough for you, I'll be bound. My cracky, but the last 12 years have been great. And I hope you've enjoyed them as much as I have. Thank you for all your letters, your involvement in the program. If your letters have anything to go by, we've gone through births, marriages, deaths, anniversaries, in jobs, out of jobs. We've been in the bath, in the loo, in the workshop, in the factory, in the office, in the kitchen together. And I've enjoyed every last minute of it. I always like to love you and leave you with a good record, but on this occasion I'm making an exception. What else could I finish on? Hey?
I thought I could hear the curious tone of the cornet, clarinet and big trombone, fiddle, cello, big bass drum, bassoon, and euphonium. Far away as in a trance, I heard the sound of the floral dance.
I must have been mad to do this. It'll come to haunt me in future years. It's haunting me now.
I walked home on a...
Well in the fourth test. Mike Walsh of Corby in Northants has a glossary of cricketing terms that may be of help. Duck, the only known tactic for facing West Indies bowling. Kerry Packer, a worker in an Irish butter factory. Silly point, a comment passed in the shower. Stumped, a word describing the England selectors. Runs, a medical condition brought about by facing Joel Garner's bowling. Now,
let's face it, the Terry Wogan Show sounds great. The truth is, it could sound even better on VHF FM. Recent research shows that 1 in 4 listeners to the Terry Wogan Show listen on medium wave, even though most do have an FM radio. Of course, there's nothing wrong with medium wave, but VHF FM does have several distinct advantages. In most areas, it will give you a better, clearer reception, free from interference. And what you hear will generally be in stereo, giving a new dimension to the music, not to mention the presenter. Go on, invite Wogan into your home between 88 and 91 megahertz FM in stereo, and hear the difference.
How's your megahertz? 1 in 4. I didn't know I'd got 4 listeners.
France next summer.
There's one thing I never fail to do Terry Wogan Show on Radio 2. Then I put the kettle on, listen to my favorite songs, while old Terence rabbits on and on and on.
Rabbits?
Rabbit, rabbit.
Yes, thank you. I'm just having a bit of trouble here with me triangular box of milk. That's the one, you know, when you're on an Aer Lingus flight and you try to open it, you know. Tear off the little red cover. And the second skin fails to be broken. You're squeezing it. And eventually it shoots out at an angle of 45 degrees and hits a nun in the back of the head on the other side of the plane. It's terribly embarrassing. There are no nuns in here at the moment, but I've just done it again. Why can't somebody invent a proper milk dispenser? The studio is now under 3 inches of milk. And from Derbyshire, I know how you can reach the lost city of Leicester. What? Otherwise known as Shangri-La. My neighbour's son regularly sets off on expeditions along the A50. Now, if a party of experienced travellers could make their way up the M1 to Derby, my neighbour's son would be only too willing to guide the group along the upper reaches of the Limpopo, otherwise known as the River Soar. Of course, our guide has drunk the elixir of life while resting in the environs of Leicester, so it's safe for him to return to the 20th century at regular intervals. But you must warn potential searchers that once in Leicester, they must stay forever. Well, they do. They can't get out. Or they will age twice as quickly as the rest of us if they do try to return to civilization, or, as it's known, Derbyshire. There's a lot of strange stuff going on this morning. Never mind the lost city of Leicester. There are those who say that Keston does not exist, says Pat Stimpson. If you take the A232 Croydon Road, you'll see a sign that says Keston, 3 miles. And if you travel for 3 miles, all you'll see is West Wickham. Even now, as I look out of my window and see the summer flowers growing and the flamingos on the lawn, when I notice my all-the-year-round tan and find that I still look 22, in spite of having a 19-year-old daughter, I begin to wonder about Keston. We'll write again tomorrow. I must go out now and feed the Dalai Lama. I think it's the orange juice we've had since the war. I'm putting something in it.
Yeah, that's the Beatles, All My Lovin'. Look to your muttons this morning, lads. It's Thursday, the 9th of the 9th, 1999. And there are some of my listeners who've headed to the outer Himalayas on the basis that the world is going to come to an end at 9 seconds past 9 minutes, past 9 o'clock on the 9th of the 9th, 99. And Paulie said it's in Germany, of course, today is 9999999 day.
No.
Freely translated. Gary Barlow tore him up in Blackpool on Friday when he flung open the place. Flung up. He said, I can use that. And it should be grand. But first is bus lanes on the motorway, now a walking lane. Says Sidge of Con. Why not go the whole hog and turn the M4 into a park and ride? Yeah, I don't see why not. It works with the M25. Oh, crikey, Polly.
Go on.
I think we might be in trouble here.
Oh, not again.
To Mr. Wogan, Mr. Walters, Ms. Godfrey, from the office of the Chief Accountant of the BBC. It has come to my attention that yesterday's broadcast was a disaster. You want to listen more often.
Everybody's an expert.
Hugh, you just want to listen more often. It's not just one disaster. We get a consistency here. The licence-paying public expect a certain level of professionalism from all BBC-paid employees. Look, it's just as much my BBC as it is yours, you know.
Don't wave your arms around.
I pay the licence fee too, you know. I cite the following examples. Ms. Godfrey destroyed a perfectly good studio. Well, that is true. And Mr. Walters, when cleaning the malfunctioning Cher CD, did not follow the BBC producer guidelines of stating, I shall have this CD cleaned using the latest BBC technology. Instead, he said, I'll give it a wipe. Yeah, you let yourself down there.
It worked.
Mr. Wogan spilt coffee over expensive BBC equipment. Now, that's nonsense. That is nonsense. Nothing to do with me. It's one of those volatile coffee cups. And people keep stealing my mugs, so Paulie had to bring a substitute. And this one has, rather unusually for a coffee mug, it's more narrow at the bottom than it is at the top. You see, there's no balance. Even you could have seen that. Don't... How dare you broadcast with your mouth full?
Sorry.
Spitting bits of chocolate biscuit at the listener.
I'm hungry.
And Helmut Wirlich-Namen has said,
Guten Morgen, Herr Tagmeister, Herr Polly, and der schönste Fräulein Godfrey. Englischer Fußball. Sehr funny.
99999.
99999. Best league in the world, mate. Oh, yeah. If you ever leave me, Vince Gill and Barbara Streisand. And good morning, lads. From way up here on Mount Everest to escape the gigantic tidal wave, which is supposed to engulf most of the Earth at 9:09 this morning. Well, it's 10 minutes past and nothing. So much for those stupid predictions. Listen, Michael McMuckle, up there in the outer Himalayas. You see, it's your own fault. And anyway, you're not on Greenwich Mean Time over there. The disaster hasn't happened yet. And Disturbed of Boston Spa says, don't expect me to come all the way down to London on Saturday night if you're going to make pongs in the park. Or would that be Paulie's department?
During your gardening slot, says willy-nilly, I wonder if you could ask Boggy about my shed. You seem to be the arbiter of all things shed-like, Boggy.
Well, I try and help, yes. You know, I am a consultant in these matters. Anything I can do to help, yes.
Yeah, I've lovingly tended it, says Willie.
That's probably a mistake to start with, you see. You should treat them a bit rough. They like that.
It's like women, is it?
Yeah, well, yeah, good slap, yeah.
Ooh, are we in trouble now?
That was not me.
No, people don't think that's funny.
Boggy Marsh.
It's not funny. No.
A good coat of creosote every year. Well, it's same with women, isn't it? And water runs off it like a duck's back. Yeah.
Brush tickles a bit. Yeah.
The other day, I opened the door for the first time in weeks, and the inside is sodden.
Ah, good. It's getting it right then. Excellent. That's, of course, how it's meant
Could
to
be
be.
worse. It could be Gomorrah. But that's another day, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Is there such a thing as shed plague? Does Boggy have the antidote? Can we expect an outbreak throughout Halifax? Is Boggy a carrier? If so, there'll be no trip to Durham. You see?
They don't want you now, you see.
Oh,
That's
no.
it.
Upset people already, have I?
You didn't help my mother with her shed anyway, did you?
Well, you know, I don't come cheap. You know, specialist advice
I'll tell her.
has to be paid for. And, you know, I can't spread myself
Okay,
around.
it's all right. It's okay. It's okay.
You and your white van.
Every time you turn around. No! God, it's you again. Don't do that. Get off. Here, there, and everywhere. Emmylou Harris, a voice like a little bell. It's 11 minutes past 9 o'clock. We'll pause for thought shortly with the Reverend John Rackley, who's coming to us from Bath. He's the minister of Manvers Street Baptist Church there in Bath. Life, it has been shrewdly said by better men than me, is a vale of tears. Alan J. Bailey, Big Al, says, hope your return doesn't herald bad luck for me. Since your departure, I got divorced, remarried, got a cat, divorced again, child left home, asked to consider retirement, never been happier. Won't spoil it again, will you? P.S. Excuse the scribble. The cat is sharpening its claws on my leg.
Next week.
Not that they phone it. They get very concerned. It's not echidnas, it's echidna. Spiky sort of breakfast in them. It's a bit like those shredded wheat, you know, like eating razors. Myself and a few like-minded spinsters, women of a certain age, like yourself, are planning to form a group to advance our nuptial prospects. Oh, always important. We better get Fran into this. So important now the nights are drawing in. It is. Oh yes. Oh, the nights are drawing in.
It's late early now.
It gets late early. If you have no objection, we would like to name the group after your good self. Well, I should be honoured. Terry's Rarely Used Singles Club. Truss. Can we rely on your support? Oh, for heaven's sake.
This weekend, Radio 2 presents the 1990...
Well, look, it's now 7 minutes past 9, and I haven't got the greatest of hopes, I may tell you, because it's, as you know, 9 seconds past 9, and the 9th of the 9th, 1999, things could take a... to avoid the collapse of civilization, the following action must be taken. All listeners must stand on one leg, and on the stroke of 090909 hours, all must immediately hop onto the other leg, and unidexters will just need to hop. Okay, that's catastrophe. I got with me a man whose name may not be unfamiliar to you, Chris de Burgh. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning,
What
Terry.
an unexpected pleasure.
Absolutely. I thought I'd be the end of the world for us.
Did you come in here so that we could huddle together for warmth?
Only you would have drawn me into here. Just the old dog for the hard road, Terry.
Where are you going now? I know you wouldn't have come in here specially. I suppose you're going on to something rather more important.
Not at all. It's you. You're the reason.
Go on with that.
No, I'll tell you why. You see, I was thinking about your gorgeous wife, Helen, waking up in the morning and looking and going, God, it's Terry Wogan beside me. And my wife does the same thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, she says, look, it's Terry Wogan beside me.
Do you know, he's been waiting for years to do that gag. I'm going to play a bit of music. You must stay, because you never know what's going to happen.
Okay.
There's only a minute to go now. I'm going to play a bit of music. Okay. And, you know, nothing's happened yet, have they? Nothing's happened. They're okay.
I hear him when he weeps.
See, it maybe just that people are confused between Greenwich Mean Time and Atlantic Seaboard. Look, it's 5 seconds past 9 minutes past 9, and absolutely nothing's happened. That was really frightening there.
We're alive! We're alive! We're still here!
Can you hear me out there?
Hello, anybody?
Hello?
Hello.
Help him break these chains of love. Help the man go free. And grant him a pardon.
Okay. 9 years ago, we met some friends and we took the kids out for an ice cream at South Queensferry near Edinburgh. There were 4 of us, and 5 of them, I see. And the weather was sunny, and we took a photo of the group all eating the ice creams. That means there were 9 of us on the 9th of the 9th, 1990, all eating 99s. So we said, let's do it again. So today's the day. We're taking our tigs. We've all grown a bit older for another ice cream, and we'll take the camera. There'll be 9 of us on the 9th of the 9th, 99, all eating 99s. Ice cream. Ice cream and a gang. Good. Well, now, Christy, it's really nice of you to come in. It's good to see you. And the wife and family are well. Sorry. And Randy Newman's wonderful song. It's a funny sound. Are you getting a funny sound, Paul?
No, I'm hearing nothing.
Well, it could be to do with the
end of the world.
The Acropolis that we've just had. While listening to your programme at 9 minutes past 9, and it's 9 seconds past 9 minutes past 9, let's get it right, when it went silent and crackly, in my shock at the end of the world, I drove into a farmyard instead of taking the bend, landing in a heap of what can only be described as slurry. It would have a fringe on top. I now have to face the prospect of a big car cleaning job before collecting herself tonight. And I may also delay my mobile traffic calming duties this weekend. Oh, you're a caravaner. The farmer whose flock of geese I went through may not be so considerate. Look, it's not my fault. I've stopped press here. Professor E. Tearing. Yes? National Institute of Crackpot. The National Institute of Apocalypses has just released a statement saying that today's planned apocalypse has been delayed indefinitely, owing to the fact that the computers at Catastrophe Control crashed because of a date-related problem. Ooh, the Lighthouse Family, Ocean Drive. You've got a little Art Deco place on Ocean Drive, haven't you, Paul?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
I wish.
He goes rollerblading up Ocean Drive in just his shorts. Mm-hmm. Randy Travis. Lucky little rascal. Wish I was his age again. And that is to riff. Stop, Rand. You got your chance. Tomorrow morning's another day, if we ever get that far. Now, look, it's 7. Don't you love country music? Let nobody ever tell you country music is rubbish. It's triff. Very basic sentiments and simple lyrics and good singers. And that's Forever and Ever Amen. And that was written by Overstreet and Schlitz, who make a dashed good beer as well. As indeed the next speaker will tell you. He's in charge of the travel, John Marsh.
BBC Radio 2 Travel News.
And impersonates car horns as well. The weather is contributing to many accidents all over this morning. All over. I'll start that again and make English of it, I think. The weather is contributing to many accidents all over the country this morning. That's what makes sense. In the sun, that's the travel this morning. It's nearly 8:55.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
John Marsh. I tell you what, there'll be some ears boxed after that, getting those words wrong. John is a bit of a stickler for the old dictionary, how the English should be spoke on the BBC. Do you know, the windows are bigger now since I left. I used to have a window the size of a postage stamp in the other old studio I had. Let me tell you, these new studios, as I said, it's like steering the Queen Mary through the Panama Canal. That's the only thing I can describe. But you get very little time to look out and see the passing parade, even if there was a passing parade, which there isn't. I can see about the third floor of a building opposite me, the lights on, the merry secretaries about their business. Jolly life it all is, really, if you don't weaken. It's just after 9 as well. It looks like a grey day, but it ain't snowing. And they used to have a car park, but they're not going to have one anymore. They're going to build something else. I'm sorry, I'm not at liberty to tell you any more than that. Even if I wanted to.
Pauline Panther and Liz Arnold said, "We are two senior nurses who have but one request. We have a matron called Myra, for whom we do our best. The highlight of her day is listening to your jest. We listen, smile, and nod our heads. Here's the real request. A Tog sweatshirt is her desire, and has been for some time. Her need to own this rare treasure forced her to send you a rhyme. No word came of her success in achieving this one aim. Her spirits lowered, her sparkle gone. She wasn't just the same." For goodness sake. Hey. Matron Myra Davis in the Sue Ryder Foundation. Greetings to you and yours, Myra. Wrap the warmth of a Wogan sweatshirt around you. You're sounding better. Is it the goose grease? I don't know. It's the nerves, really, Frankie, with the new equipment, you know. One doesn't know where one is. Did you put that on the new machine? I see, yes. We could do, the old new machinery could do with a bit of goose grease. What is young Fran doing with her mother over the festive season? Fran's mother has passed on, Frankie. Goodness sake. Do try and keep up. I've just got up. What's this I hear about you going to Hawaii?
Why?
Is there an OB?
No.
Oh, I see. Yes. Remember what happened to John Dunn? He used to be sent to Hawaii and places like that.
Yep.
What's this I hear about you going to Hawaii? Is this another holiday? Are you being sent there permanently? Will we still be able to tune in from Stockport? Aloha. What do you mean, Aloha? That's a place in Scotland. Mad Mary in Eton Chapel in Stockport. Aloha. Aloha!
Weekend Bruce takes over, saucy as ever, at 9:30. He's been in since the crack of dawn. I think he's trying to get away from the child. Come on, no. Yeah, that's it. Now that you're back on Radio 2 Sound, will those crazy phenomena once more abound? The duvets each with a life of its own, the self-reproducing traffic cone, and maybe with a little good luck, the clever weather forecasting duck. Will the Northampton lighthouse still be in place? Is the fair-haired Lessie, a smile on her face, still stare-gazing, sadly across the bay, being thoroughly soaked with human spray? Is the Birmingham budgie owner still going strong, walking out daily with his birdie along? Oh, he was great. Not in a park where the air's fresh and good. Instead, on a roundabout called the Robin Hood, are kamikaze cockatiels still being bred, ones that dive into porridge when it's time to be fed. And now we've decided what's lunch and what's dinner. We've all fought the flab, are many pounds thinner. Your regular listeners just can't wait to see what strange things will happen in 93. And let me tell you, neither can I. Betty Collier. That was well-writ, Betty. An Addington twin.
That's number 50 in our Togs Top 10. It had a lot of publicity in the popular dailies, and I think mistakenly the 50 most popular records in all the world. They're not. They're the 50 most popular records in the opinion of Terry's old geezers and gals. And we asked you to write in. You remember all those years ago, and give us your 3 most popular records. And from that, Paulie Walters, immediate past Capitano, good man himself.
Hey.
Hey, indeed. Has culled and cultured and honed a Togs Top 50, and that was number 50, Help Me the Beatles, and that would have pleased I Serum of instead, may I say, very well done to all, and can I have a sweatshirt?
Oh.
Go on, it's my first request.
Oh, they say.
Oh, well, Bill.
Yeah.
Do you think I have no feelings? Eh? From Northern Ireland. What about you? Stick a night. 10 top tips for fathers. It's all lists this morning, Paulie. For fathers to... How to help your pregnant partner. It's fathers to be, I imagine, yes.
Stephen Edwards, who, after this, will never go home again. How to help your pregnant partner. Always lift your feet when she's hoovering. Put away the lawnmower when she's finished. At the weekend, ask her to bring your breakfast and lunch to bed at the same time because it saves trips up the stairs. Advise her to sit on a stool while doing the ironing. It's good for the back. For her birthday or at Christmas, buy her seeds. And after she digs, plants and weeds the garden, she can have flowers for next year's birthday. Buy her sensible presents. Wallpaper, paint, brushes, rollers, hammer and nails, a saw, book of DIY, concrete mixer. Hold the door open when she brings in the coal. Oh, Paulie.
Oh, no.
Oh, thank goodness it's Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be on holidays by the time we get the letters that complain for this.
Pages from the 23rd of November 1978. A new international frequency agreement comes into effect. And many of the frequencies used for the BBC will be changed at that time. Radio 1, Radio 2, and Radio 3 will be found upon the medium wave, whereas Radio 4 will be located on the long wave. The principal new frequencies and wavelengths will be as follows. For sets marked in frequencies, Radio 1 will be on 105.3 and 108.9 kilohertz, which is to say where wavelengths are concerned, 285 and 275 meters. Radio 2, brackets in kilohertz, close brackets, will be on 693 and 909, which is in wavelengths 433 and 330. Radio 3, as you might expect, will be different from the others, in that there is no choice of frequency and no alternative wavelength. The frequency is 1215, and as the wavelength will be 247 meters, it will be renamed Wonderful Radio 3. Moving now from the medium to the long way, we shall be principally concerned with Radio 4. This can be discovered on 200 kilohertz or 1500 meters. Listeners to Radio Scotland, Radio Wales, Radio Cymru, and to Radio Ulster, most BBC local radio and all VHF services are advised that there will be no change. As a last reminder, the aforementioned changes in wavelengths and frequencies in some cases and lack of changes in wavelengths and frequencies in others as outlined above will come to pass in 1978 on the 23rd of November.
What a touching little song that is. Full to brim of melodic interpretation and yet information as well, which is what the BBC is all about. Education, information, and entertainment. And what they cried in unison, are you doing there?
Michael Jackson.
You're wobbling a bit there.
I was a bit, wasn't I?
I don't know what you're doing.
No, well, it's all a mystery to me.
Poor old
battling
Michael.
away.
Oh, he wasn't himself there at all, was he, Michael?
No, he took a very... Well, he's not himself anyway, is he? I mean...
I can remember when he was black. Can you remember? All those years ago.
Certainly he's changed. I think it's absolutely extraordinary. He was quite a charming-looking fella.
He was.
And to make all these strange changes is bizarre, isn't it?
I'm going to get my nose done shortly, I think. I've always fancied an extra hole in it.
No, I think it adds
Is it all right?
character.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know the nose is, and indeed the ears are the only things that continue to grow as you get older?
Is that... I thought, what about your fingernails?
Oh, well, yeah, mine grow. Yeah, fingernails. So don't be so pedantic.
But they grow after you died. You know that?
Oh.
Died for the last time on radio, too.
It's not for nothing your father was a church warden.
No. The conversations we used to have round the fireside. Ken, I'm going to do it.
Good man.
Whether it works or not.
By the way,
yes,
this was a Geoffrey Mullen production.
It sounded like it.
Yes, I know. Numbers we've played so far. Don't forget, tomorrow morning between 10 and 11, Christmas morning, we'll be playing the top 10. Christmas is coming. The fairy lights won't light. Take them off the tree again. Check the bulbs are tight. Christmas is coming. The lights are still not on. Check the wiring and the plug. Replace the bulbs one by one. Christmas is coming. Throw away the lights. Go and buy a new set. Make the season bright. And that's Wham! That's the boys of Wham! Last Christmas. Boggy, the red-eyed newsman, had a very leaky shed. Yes. If you visit in the rain, it would surely wet your head. Begorra, who's probably the worst for drink up there in McClure now.
Mercifully short.
You have no idea, Boggy. Why do you open your capacious maw?
Well, you know, I know you find difficulty speaking. You know.
Why don't some of you write a little bit of something on Terry the Red-Nosed
Wogan? I did not
Wogan.
sound like that at all.
Terry, the famous Wogan, had the most peculiar show. And if you ever heard it, you would scream and say, no, no.
Yeah. Why did I?
Hundreds of them. Thank you.
Boggy, the man with 2 sheds and a very leaky roof, mowed on to Paul and Terry until they said they had enough.
Yes, thank you.
Terry, the portly DJ.
I think we ought to move on.
At this point, show. All heavy soggy listeners used to write and tell him so.
Oh, bright ideas, John.
I'm sorry. You could publish it in a book, though.
Oh, good.
Make lots of money for children.
A lump of Christmas cake that's like some tarmac atom does not make up for that.
It's 8 minutes to 8. It's very tasty if you assemble it correctly. A widespread overnight...
And Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
How did I guess that was in there?
Oh, there's millions of them. But it just shows you that they are out there in numbers, just when we thought it was safe to go out the door.
It's encouraging.
Yes. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, he used to like to really pose, dressed in a sexy nightie, suspenders, bra, and lacy hose. All of the other reindeers used to laugh and call him names. They thought the dear old Rudolph was one of those old panto dames. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, while out making hay, Rudolph, looking quite a sight, was propositioned in the night. Now he's a national treasure. The rest, they say, is history. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is working for the BBC.
Hey, very good. Very good.
This is our favourite. One of our great favourite Christmas songs.
We like this.
Sentimental old oafs that we are.
Spreading into the north and west. That's the BBC News at 8:05. And at this point, we would normally be rejoining Terry Wogan, but apparently he's got something else to do just at the minute. But never mind that. We'll move on to something else.
Just wanted to give you an early opportunity for ad-libbing.
Oh, my big break.
Yes, indeed.
I hate you.
Hey, look here.
No,
I have a letter here.
I really hate you.
No, hang on. I've got other fish to fry here, John. I must get on. I have something from Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. here. Good morning to you, Mr. Wogan. I'm writing to you in the full knowledge that no one else will know of the little bother I'm in. And mindful of your own ability to escape blame when it's clearly in your ballpark. If you can emerge blameless for incidents in Carsholt and Duck Pond, the Stowmarket Slide, and the Northampton Lighthouse, surely you're in a position to advise me. I was thinking of amnesia, or something to cite, and I thought you might be able to help, since I'm told you can't remember anything most of the time yourself. Yours, Bill.
Well,
just my Bill.
El Condor Pasa. From Simon and Garfunkel. It's coming up to 20 minutes past 7. Twisters, the Terry Wogan Institution for Senile Television Ex-Presenters and Radio Staff, Sue Martin says you're obviously in need of considerable help to get your program off the ground. Are people not getting my raise, Sue? I was unfortunate enough to hear your first emission in January. Not a pleasant experience, Sue, for any of us. After several boo-boos on your part, suddenly I heard a weather forecast simultaneously with an ABBA record. Here we go again, I said. He's definitely back to his best. However, at that moment, my husband came into the kitchen with his portable radio. He listens to Radio 4, not you, and I realised on this occasion it wasn't your fault.
Oh, he's a sort of news freak, is he? Oh, yeah, I listen to Radio 4. I like to keep abreast, you know, what goes on. Yeah, it's the same old news all the time, but I just like to hear it, you know.
It's 20 and a bit past 7. John Marsh has just raced up the stairs, having given me, apparently, this fruit, coupe de fruits, which was given me. One of my spies has come back and reported that she saw it sitting on the Radio 4 desk, covered in dust. He's obviously cleared it off and passed it on to me. And if I'm sick, on your head be it, Marsh. Is he talking to me?
Oh, sorry, Terry. Yeah, I was looking out the window waiting for my travel ticket. I haven't got it yet, you know.
Hang on. I understood that you had yours.
No.
Well, look, go
Failure of
away.
communication.
Go away then until we need you.
It's still wobbling the machine. It's still coming through.
Excellent work.
And I'll leap out and, if you give me another 2 minutes, and I'll have it honed to perfection.
Sorry.
And then I'll read the travel news.
Sorry, you're fired. Actually, it gives me a chance to go from El Condor Pasa to Orinoco Flow. I was hoping John would be incommoded. Planning, you know. Radio 2, all over your body.
But he's noticed, but it's Christmas. Just occurred to me. Now we have here, I penned some variations of 6 Christmas hymns to say thanks for a loyal listener for another great year of Wogan. Away, a likeable stranger from Limerick came. 'Twas a young Terry Wogan, looking for fame. He was offered on Radio 2, but he chortled and warbled till his listeners were few. Jingle bells. Come on, Paulie. All is well, Wogan's on today. Paulie's got his rhubarb tin and must have her say. Dashing through the snow in a one-man legend, with Fran in his ear while Paulie interfered. That's absolutely ridiculous. That was... How's this? Oh, little town of Limerick, how did you suffer him? I'm talking of Terry Wogan, hardly what you'd call slim. Oh. Good King Wogan sat alone in his little studio. Then the focus group declared he should have some company. That's ridiculous. Wogan might be all right, though Paulie's trite, Boggy's quite bright, round the studio every dawn, making merry as we yawn. Never mind what the beep says, keep on doing it, please. I'm dreaming of a white Wogan, with every Wogan show I see. Thank you very much, thank you. Yes, your suits are tasteless and tight, but may all your Wogan shows go right.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, we made it.
Just for a cup of tea at Christmas, Governor. Having said in the papers that the one network in the world that neither he nor his family listens to in a million years would be Radio 2.
It's not from...
Yeah, yeah.
Do I have to stand up?
The next man in the hot seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's to you.
Oh, is it?
I know you wanted the nerve to write to me, but...
Yeah.
Hello there, old bean. Wonderful show, very entertaining. A grand choice of music to boot.
Oh, well.
He only puts on the old Cockney accent, you know. Still, that's enough about you, Paulie. We'll have to do something about that Irish Herbert who keeps interrupting him.
I see you're sending your wife out to work these days.
Yes, indeed.
Things a bit tight, are they, in the Wogan house?
And the lad, yes.
And the lad, yeah, but
Oh, yes.
opened my local paper and there she was, beaming at me.
And indeed, this evening, won't I be sending out the little one to work as well?
Fantastic, yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
She'll be up chimneys and whatever they do.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
She was on telly the other night, wasn't she? Doing something, that you don't want to talk about.
No.
I want the details.
Yes.
No. There are no details.
Was it done in the best possible taste, or, was it a bit...
Steven?
After 9-ish, was it?
It'll only be done, let me tell you this, she has assured me, if she respects the director and the script calls for it.
Oh, she's paid a lot of money then.
Exactly.
Here's the travel, 21 minutes past 8 exactly. The word is to take care this morning.
Yeah. Last night I had the strangest dream that I got completely blotto. I know somebody else. I found myself in a wooden hut, which I mistook for a Christmas grotto. In the corner sat a rotund figure, white-whiskered, slightly haggard. And wanting to sit on Santa's knee, towards him, I staggered. I confided in him my Christmas wish and confessed my predilection, but a grumpy old curmudgeon famous for his shed erection. I told him how my hero would make my passion stir with just one manly touch of his ancient Wurlitzer. But it was when I whispered what I'd like to do for my true love in his lean-to that he told me he'd like to help me. Indeed, he was very keen to. Alas, at this point I woke up. I'll never know if my Christmas wish was granted. But suffice to say, from where I lay, I'd swear the grotto roof was slanted. Whoa! A tale of steamy passion.
Not only a poet.
That was a bonnish ripper, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
She's a fine cook, that woman, you know.
Oh, right.
Very, very high-class Christmas cake arrived.
Have you thought of sporting the beads in the hair look? Keith Richards seems to think it works. Oh, rock on, Tommy, that's what I say. Good morning, gentlemen. This is Hugh again. Has Paulie been released on bail yet? Yesterday in church at the end of the service, two old dears were chatting. Have you heard Cliff Richard's aluminium prayer? I have, but I don't like it, do you? Not much. At least I know the words.
Guten Tag, Herr Togmeister und Herr Pauli. Herr Cliff Bibeltumpen ist jetzt Nummer 1. Dummkopf, englischer Rekordverkaufen Publik. Du musst spellen Hamsterdans und Nochen der Bibeltumpen von Nummer 1. Ist Ihr only hope, ja? Thank you, Helmut. Die geht.
Keep it going, lads. Keep it going. Ain't that lovely? Just right for the morning. And the mood you're in. How are you this morning, darling?
I'm fine.
No, not you.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say moonlight can be cruelly deceptive, but I'm not going to bother now. Listen, have you finally decided to do something for your living?
Well, I have. And I'm glad to have kept you waiting, because you'll have delighted my wife playing that record. That's her favourite record.
I knew I'd turn out to be good for something.
Yeah.
Listen, if you don't read this, you will abort your news, you know.
No, I won't, because I haven't got that yet either.
Oh,
it's going to be one of those days, I feel.
I blame
in
Saddam.
the water.
BBC Radio.
Millions, and it was the night before Christmas, of mist and of fog. Not a creature was stirring, not even a dog, and Mama in her handkerchief and I in my cap had just settled our heads for a long winter's nap when an ominous feeling of pressure below made me moan to the missus, "Oh no, I must go." I lurched to the bathroom for nighttime relief, not bothering with lights, crept about like a thief, when out in the garden there arose such a clatter. I sprang to the window to see what was the matter, and to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. What a little old driver, so rosy and merry, I knew in a trice it must be St. Terry. He'd forgotten the deer's name, so he called them all Toggy, except the one with the red nose, and that he called Boggy. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each tiny hoof. From the rooftops he cried, "I'll be down there shortly. I'm stuck in your chimney 'cause I'm so portly." As I turned from the window, a noise made me stop, and out of the chimney came Tell with a pop. He stood in the soot and the mess undismayed, dressed in luminous mustard, a seasonal shade. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He dished out the sweatshirts, the clocks and the stickers, and a gift from Big Panty, bright paper knickers, strange souvenirs from his faraway trips, and to light up our Christmas tree, squeaky clean pips.
Hey.
And laying a finger aside of his nose and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose with a jovial laugh from his bright rosy cheeks. Cried, "I'm off on me holliers. I'll be back in 3 weeks."
God rest ye merry gang of three, let nothing stop your chatter, for all your togs are listening in, each one's a man's a hatter, to hear their names put on the air by Terry, fat old fool. Give Toggies a little bit of fun, bit of fun. Give Toggies a little bit of fun.
Nearly, but not quite. Rehearse.
Yes. The Generation Game, that's on, just in time to give you indigestion after your dinner on Christmas Day. And in fact, I know Larry Grayson's looking forward to it immensely, if he can only get down off the Christmas tree in time. Like, he's up there now. And mind you, there's a fairly chilly wind round Pewmonia Corner this morning. He's up there on the tree. His needles are beginning to drop as well. Morning, Larry. Look. Oh, he's up there. Waving away, relentlessly waving at nobody. There's nobody in Regent Street this morning. He's up there in his tutu and his wand, covered in spangles and a little sleet. And looking just a little blue around the nose. Let's see if we can get a microphone up to him on the top of the BBC Christmas tree. No, Larry, you can't come down. Good Lord, the governors are up there as well. Well, indeed. Nice to hear the festive spirit taking over, as it were, here on the BBC. Good morning! The entrance of the Ayatollah Trithawan. Yes, indeed. Sentiments, I'm sure, with which we can all feel. At least a part. Did I notice an element of ITV creeping in there? I like it at that speed. That's a joke.
And 4 on
There goes the crockery. Oh, my word. That's bad. There goes... Oh, heavens.
Bad timing again.
Oh, the Delph. Oh, dear. Oh, the Royal Doulton in smithereens. We'll have to track that down, Stuart.
Yes.
We'll name the guilty men.
Plenty of glue.
What happens when things get broken here?
Well,
Take them off the...
We take them off, and if...
Gently. Oh, my God. Oh. Nobody's going to... Nobody's going to believe we didn't do that deliberately, Stuart.
Deliberately planned that, was it?
Stuart Thompson is going off now to commit Harry Kiri by hurling himself from the post office tower here in Birmingham. Do you want to say hello to anybody? Hang on. Oh, look, Stuart, look. There's one just come in. Oh. No, I must say, we did that deliberately.
That's the last time I watched Blankety Blanket.
Nice to talk to you. Is there anybody listening at home? Do you think might be listening?
Yeah, Irene and my children.
On hearing the suggestion of a roundabout in the middle, which was another good one, you see, because after all, the French, are going to be coming in, driving on the right, and we, who own the channel after all, be going on the left, and then there's going to be what can only be described as a contretemps in the middle. Anyway, the roundabout in the middle, where the French and we British switch lanes, thus arriving at our destination on the correct side of the road. And my son, bright little chap, thought the roundabout would be too difficult for the engineers, so if the French entered backwards, they would arrive here on the correct side of the road. Of course, they would have to stay in reverse for their stay here, but he didn't feel that should prove to be any problem, having visited Paris a couple of times and observed the French drivers in action. This is turning into an ethnic slur, this. Truthful so far, though. As regards ourselves, we were always adaptable. Upon leaving Britain, the French would enter the tunnel in a forward gear, thus arriving home on the correct side of the road going forward. We, upon returning, this is the native British, is it? Upon returning to our native shores, would do a 3-point turn at the exit point and continue homewards. Still going backwards. I don't think I quite grasp the significance of this letter. It's a bit too early in the morning for me, and anyway, I've got strange voices in me right here. I can't make out whether it's my overindulgence last night or just jockey pink elephants in the ear.
This is Lindisfarne. I can only thank you for your selfless, public-spirited generosity. Bernard. Tush, in South Woodford. For the last umpty-tung years, I've said to my wife, "What do you want for Christmas, my darling?" And each year, the same answer. Terry Wogan. Therefore, please be here at 57 Windale Road, South Woodford, London East 18, suitably gift-wrapped, in time for breakfast on Christmas morning, so you can be opened with the rest of the presents. Oh, is there any chance you could bring Jan Leeming for me? Certainly. Are you prepared to pay the new license fee? Good. We'll be there.
Johnny Walker, I can tell you, mate. Snitching the smarties. A lament from the frozen north by W. McGonagall, poet and tragedian. Oh, white, majestic Scottish snow. I look forward to your coming. But if I'm out dressed in my kilt, it freezes up my plumbing.
A pleasing sound. Oi! Oi? Frankie thingy? Don't be so familiar, you baggage. Can anyone tell me if Geo Fizz have ever got anything right on time, team? No. Oh, I just happen to... Everybody happens, I think, to stumble across Geo Fizz from time. Carenza.
Oh, yes, Carenza.
That's a great name. Carenza. And, oh, look, it matches. They're a bit of a...
Oh, he's found a brick.
A brick, yeah. Ooh. And then here, Sammy Detached, the Belfast builder here, says, "Tarry, what about you, big lad? Did you see them, Tarry? Did you? The bricks on the time team last night. Wasn't it great? Who could ask for anything more from a programme? Between that and the Eurovision, I've never had a night like it. Stick it out, Tommy." And best of all, try the syrup of figs, Ronnie Biggs. It'll keep you on the move. So, you're leaving the Beeb after all these years. I told you I was going. Well, it's the best kept secret in broadcasting. And now we can expect to see you popping up all over the place. I think I'll sell the television and buy a piano. Just kidding, laddie. And the reason for this letter is, which record do you think will be the very last one that you play on your final day? It's not my final day. I mean, you make it sound as if I'm going to go 6 feet under. I'll be there. I'll be around. Won't I? Ask all your fans. See if they can predict your swan song. Well, my producer in here, he's got the plans already laid for December the 28th. I wonder will it be Now Is the Hour or Goodbye from the White Horse Inn? What a happy choice. With Joseph on, "Goodbye, it's time, I've had a flight and climb." Yeah? Or Leaving on a Jet Plane, or I'm Leaving Home, and please don't talk about me. Who's sorry now? I'll walk alone. What'll I do? Faraway places. Or California, here I come. I don't know. I don't know, Molly. Why don't you just hold yourself in readiness and we'll be all agog for the final program on December the 28th. Not long now, hey? As I said before, it's been the longest passing out in the history of broadcasting. I've got me money's worth of the departure. To be a group called the Twits, the Terry Wogan is Top Society. Then there was the Twist, Terry Wogan is singularly tawdry. The Twirl, Terry Wogan is really lousy. Twine, Terry Wogan is naturally excruciating. And there were fully paid up members of Wogan's, work-shy overpaid grocers and naggers society. And right-wing members of Twaddle, Terry Wogan and Daffy Duck, Luck Effeminate society. Political alliance with Earwig, they formed. Elderly alcoholics reckon Wogan is gay. And one suggested name for a new party we might start was Widow. Wogan is a dreadful old woman. Benny King. It was 1987. I stood on the boom that became, didn't it? Sailing. Over the years and the miles of a daily radio show, people used to burst into extempore effusion, you know. Poetry. I mean, after John Masefield, I got something like this. I must tune in to the Beeb again, to that august voice from the sky. So what I need is a radio, the better to hear it by. And all I ask is a Twits t-shirt and a Radio 2-type sponge, 'cause it's time for my annual bath again, and I'm going to take the plunge. I must tune in to the Beeb again, the home of the great DG, and if he offers a sacrifice, he'll get applause from me.
All preparations being in hand, 6 acolytes take JY and hurl him over the parapet to that studio in the sky. I must tune in to the Beeb again to hear if you'll read this poem. And if you don't, it's to another station I'll be going. Radio 1's too R&B and Radio 4's too boring, so it looks as though it's Radio 3 my custom will be scoring. Ha! Ye of little faith. Is it any wonder that Sir John Betjeman used to quiver like a jelly in his floral patterned Wellington boots when listening to this program?
For animals, no more talk of buttocks. Ah, well, it's in the buttocks, you know. Swing. Last week, while making breakfast and contemplating those pleasing visions, I reached, says Jean Prince, hygiene of Hull, I reached into the cupboard for the coffee jar and made myself a refreshing cup of rich and meaty onion gravy. Didn't exactly compliment the old wheaty bangs. It's what being a dog is all about, Jean.